Riser, welcome back to the studio. I'm joined in the studio today, the none other than Formula Karting's in the studio today. What about that, folks? Jim Phelan, thanks for coming in.
No bother at all, Tony.
And Catherine Flynn, thank you, Catherine, for coming in. It's great to see you, you know.
Thanks for having us.
It's a bit warm out there, isn't it? It's clammy. Like.
Yeah, it is,
I suppose it is, aye. Well, it is.
It's clammy in here and it's that time of the day. There you go, friends. Everybody's raving about that. I'm like oddball out of the James Bond films, you know.
I suppose us when indoors we don't get out much. We're inside nearly most of the time. So
yeah, that's right. You're in, you know.
We like to see the rain and the bad weather coming and all that sort of stuff.
Do you not, do you?
And the clammy weather coming where everybody has to come in for a bit of
karting, a bit of driving, you know. It's like Top Gear down there, isn't it?
That's it.
You know, you have the Top Gear set and the big factory, you know. And
we like to have a bit more choice of our awards. I heard Jeremy Clarkson on this morning. He's going to get sacked or threatening to be sacked because of was it something to do with?
He was using bad talk.
None of that bad talk out of us. Like
no. You're more professional about things. That big Clarkson, he's a big old nuisance, isn't he? Like driving around on taxpayers' money, may I add, and petrol and all the rest with big cars.
I know me making you as fancy cars as Jeremy. Like Jeremy, some brave yokes, like so he has.
But he lets on. He's a good driver, Jim. You know the truth. You know if you got that dude down into Formula Karting, I tell you what, Clarkson, you'd be finished. He wouldn't last 10 minutes. Not right.
That'd be it.
You only take good drivers on board, you know.
That's it, surely.
So tell us, Jim, how long have you been? How long and how did you set up Formula Karting?
Oh dear, what do I say? We went into the building in 1991.
91?
91, that's 20...
Wow,
23 years.
23 years ago, yeah.
23.
And started a race in February 1982.
I didn't think you were there that long.
I was there that long. How it all started, I suppose it's just the way life took me. I was always interested in motorsport and I suppose that was I was doing navigation rallies at the time and couldn't afford to do them, and I suppose that was the nearest thing I was going to get to motorsport at the time, I thought, and I seen them, and my mother, the creator, used to buy me a magazine called Motorsport News from I was maybe 11 or 12 years of age. She used to buy that from me.
I remember that.
Every week, and down at the bottom corner there was a wee advertisement, Zip Kart Race a Kart near you, and there's a map of England on it, you know.
Yeah.
And I said to myself one day, why is there no map of Ireland here? Why is there none of these karting tracks in Ireland? And so I jumped on the boat out of Belfast one night and in the car and away I went and finished up at a few of these karting tracks in England, and I just clicked then. I said,
were you highly impressed when you first seen them?
Well, I said, look, I thought it was good crack and everything else, and said, look, there's none of this over here. I'm going to have to get one of these dots. And
you're going to have to dot it over the sea there.
Get the map extended and get a dot on here. So that's where it all started, basically. I was hooked on it, and there was nothing like that in this country, so I just come back and...
And then did you come back and did you have to like search for a place to make up a karting track?
No, well, I knew exactly when I was over in England. I knew exactly where the building was because I used to work at diggers and stuff, and I used to go back down the side of the building we are now. There's a fella down the back used to fix digger hoses, and I used to go down the back and looking into this big empty building and.
You seen the potential, did you?
I seen that whenever I was over in England doing karting, the mind was working overtime and I had plenty of time to think. And when I came home and just said, this is what I'm going for, you know, and that's where it started, I suppose. I came home and done a few drastic things when I came home. I whether it's right or wrong or different, I don't know. The first thing I done, I called an auctioneer to sell a load of machinery and cattle and stuff. And maybe that was right, maybe it was wrong, but that's what we done.
But you done it.
Done it.
And you just done it in a whim like that?
Yes, just
because you knew what you're
like that
going to start funding this and get this kart up and going.
That was it, yeah.
I have to commend you because there you are. There's 23 years later, and I have to say you haven't changed a single bit from you started.
I'm getting younger looking.
Younger
looking, Tony. I know that.
Well, my hair's kind of went in a bit, but you know. But you haven't changed a single bit from the day you went in there.
And I have to say, this is my sister Catherine here. Catherine was with us from day one as well. Catherine,
is that right?
Whenever I came back from England and said to Catherine, I don't know what Catherine thought.
October, November.
What did you think at the time, Catherine? Do you think as he lost the plot?
I was doing whatever typing and stuff at home on a wee typewriter, wee old typewriter that, again, Mummy owned, and I was doing whatever letters there was to get started. No computer.
The real typewriter.
The real typewriter.
The real job.
I wonder would
bang.
The children nowadays wouldn't know what we're talking about here.
Like,
you know,
you
know, computer
you can't
printer.
just go back. You have to make sure everything's right. You can't
and
just delete.
To think that you created that business and there wasn't a computer inside.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
No computers. And nowadays, there's people can't do without them. They can't do without their phone.
Yeah.
I remember when we opened first, Catherine came to me and said she needed a word processor, what is that? What's
New
the word?
secretary.
What is the word processor? I says, how much is that? I forget it. Was it £250 or something? Whatever it was. You can't afford.
Shocking.
No, we can't have that.
You were thinking I could buy another card for that?
Carting explained the benefits of this word processor over the typewriter and everything else. So there was one got out of I think Newry Computer Centre at the time or whatever, and away we went, and that was.
So there you go. You even kept your local band. You kept your band local there. Or Newry Computer Centre. This man, I have to say, you do a lot for charity as well.
Yeah, we tend to. Yes, we do. We tend to. Apart from a lot of the charity work we do is close to our hearts, but and you know, it's aside from that, I think more businesses should do a lot more charity work, because apart from the charity work, the other side of it is very good advertising.
Yeah,
you know, very good. I know. Maybe I'm sitting in the wrong place talking about that, and you know, from TV advertising, radio advertising, it's all good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's all great, but I find charity work is a very good form of advertising. It's very good for your social and corporate responsibility element of your business.
Yeah,
so it is, and that's, I suppose, you know, you get involved with one charity and then you move on to another charity and you do charity.
And then
work
charities obviously, you know, ultimately come to you then. You know,
yes,
you know, once the word gets out,
the charities
will come to you.
I suppose me being soft like I am, we don't like to turn anybody down. Right? We try to work for it with everybody. So
well, I wouldn't say soft. I would say you're a good man. You know, that's my version of it. You know, there's good and bad wherever you go on the planet, and you're definitely a good man. You know,
we'll try your best.
And Catherine, you've been there from the very start. You know, it's amazing. It's a good setup that they have, and it's, you know, there's as I say, your sister's involved. And it's good to have maybe your family involved too, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
It's the locals as well. Sure, right from the word go, sure, you were given lifts in, like from White Cross or Tullyherne, we were given lifts into the young boys out there that wanted a job, and Jim and taking them in the road in the car and
we
in the
probably
van.
have employed for young fellas over the years. I think we've employed somewhere in the region of 600-700 young people, like, you know, on and off, and you know, just young people getting them started off in life, and
young students and that.
Young students and young lads.
I have to say, fair play to you, you know. But and I've seen you down in I was at a motorsport event in Dublin a few years ago. Down the RDS.
Oh, the RDS, Autosport show.
Lo and behold, we were all queuing up, and Jim, I just seen the big Formula cart, you know, coming in. Hey, there's that man there, you know.
Stuck everywhere.
Great, but you're stuck in the right places.
Well,
you know,
I don't know.
That's your business. So motorsport's your business, and you know what I mean. And you're a big name, really, aren't you?
I don't know about that, but sure. That's the way life brings you sometimes, isn't it? You just have to. You always want to improve and do better and get bigger and get bigger and try more people and do more things, and that's just the way life progresses.
So tell me about your track. You have got it's a big enough track you have down there, isn't it?
Well, there's 3 tracks in the one building in Newry, so it is. And you can join them all together, and if you join them all together, that leaves the longest indoor karting centre in Europe, the longest indoor karting track in Europe. Yes. Now we don't run them as a single entity. We run them as 3 separate groups or 3 separate tracks so you can cater for 3 separate groups at any one time. You know, it's just I suppose demand meant that we had to put on a second track, and then demand meant we had to put on a third track. So that's just the way we went. You know, we can advertise it as the longest track in Europe, which it is the longest track in Europe if you join the 3, but we don't run it all the time as that length of a track. A long track like that tends to be. It tends to be too long. Now that might sound odd, but it can be too long from a driver's perspective for them to enjoy the track and different things, you know. So we run.
That's nearly like a 24-hour track if you linked it all up. You could start there Le Mans down there, couldn't you?
You could, I suppose, but I suppose it's all down to pounds, shillings, and pence at the end of the day, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, if enough of you guys out there want to have a go at the Le Mans 24-hour, that think this man might accommodate you.
Right, that's right. We could do that.
And tell me about the karts now. So are the single twin engine?
They're a single engine. They're a French kart. They're made in France. They're a Sodi kart with a Honda engine.
With a Honda?
Yeah. We're running Sodi karts now, I suppose from year around 2000, 2001, Catherine, I think it was. It was we found them the best. Like, I suppose you would call them the Mercedes or the BMW of karts, you know, and we like to change them fairly often. We usually change a fleet of carts every year, basically. So
is that right?
Fleet of carts
and keep them fresh and
tight. Keep them fresh. Well, you're selling carting, so you have to have carts. You know, basically, you have to have a good cart.
And then obviously, and then you've got the biggest track, and so you want the best cart.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so it makes all sense, Jim, doesn't it?
I suppose. Yeah.
And the wee Honda engines, they're great, aren't they?
Oh, they're brilliant now. Like, you know, they're
hard to beat them.
They're hard to beat. Yeah, and. They're not better now than they were a few years ago. Now, a few years ago, they just went bang on you any time. But that wasn't the engine's fault. That was the cart's fault and the way the protective barriers were around the carts and stuff like that. Any engine, a mechanic will know this. If it just a thump on the side at high revs, it just breaks the crank, and that's what used to happen. So, but the protective systems around the cart now are much better. So that doesn't happen now.
There you go.
So
you live and you learn every day, don't you? You know, there's another little snippet like. And as I say, I was into motorsport all my life, you know, because back in the day, Jim, there was only football, boxing, on the TV or motorsport.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had only 3 sports really, hadn't you?
You had, and I suppose when you look back when we started karting in this country in 1991, between 1991 and 1994, the MSA competition license holders and the RAC competition license holders increased 8-fold, and that is maybe as a result of might have been a partly a result of karting coming along and people getting involved in karting and then wanting to move on to other disciplines of motorsport. But in them 3 years, like it multiplied by 800% the amount of license or competition license holders.
That's incredible. 800%.
Yeah,
that's crackers.
3 years.
But it's good. That's good.
It's good. That's good for everybody. It's good. It's good for the motor clubs, and it's good for all sorts. You know, it's good for motorsport in general, and it gets the word out there. And gets
and I suppose there has been some like sport and motorsport stars have started in your place over that length of time, 23 years. You know.
Well, there's one. Well, I'll name a few. I haven't thought about this, but I'll name one off now. He's driving for Citroen at the minute. He took Sebastian Loeb's seat, and that's our friend Chris Meek there. I remember him coming that height.
Is that right?
With his father and his brother there, Sydney, and he used to come along with the late great Bertie Fisher, and on a Saturday night, Sydney Meek and Bertie Fisher, and Mark would have been along with him, and Chris would have been there as well, you know.
And Fisher was a great driver too, wasn't he? Back in the day?
Very good man, yes.
I go back at even, you know, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you know, and that there, and the Circuit of Ireland Rally. That was the biggest highlight of our year. You know, we just used to follow the way down to Waterford and take a tent with us, no matter what the weather was like, you know.
That's right.
And different stages up, and that was the best weekend that we always had, you know.
And 5 gallons of petrol in the boot of the car just to get you home.
5 and about 10 gallons of beer in the beside it, you know. But you know, it showed you that the motorsport was massive then, wasn't it? You know, you know, with the likes of the Circuit of Ireland, most of the country used to go to, didn't it?
It did. There was a lot more crowds out watching motorsport at that time, but I think it is as much interest in that, if not more now. But I think these things in our pocket here is too much information as regards motorsport, and I suppose any sport in particular. People can see, they can actually watch this on their mobile phones now. They can watch motorsport without going and stand in the backs of ditches and I think these things here have spoilt us. A lot of people, or a lot of things, you know.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It's not like the old days when you, as I say, hail, rain or snow, you would have threw a tenner into the car and away and didn't care. You would have got there and just to stand out and to watch this, you know, watch these cars hurtling past you.
There was probably a lot of people went to watch rallying, I suppose, just for the social aspect of it, the crack in of it, because. I suppose from our own point of view, I can remember buying an old car, £30 to go around to watch rallying, and I remember outside White Cross Bar one night and we were putting the drink into the boot, you know, and there's no room for it, so we had to take the drink out again, and we took the spare wheel out of the car and threw it down the cross bray and piled the drink back in again. Got it stuffed in the way we went, like, you know.
Sorted out.
That was sorted, you know, the spare wheel went out instead of the drink, you know, so that was... There was a lot of crack to it, and people came along with it and had a pile interest in motorsport, but they came for the banter and the crack in of things, which unfortunately doesn't happen now.
No, it doesn't. I bought an old Reynolds 16. There was 6 of us,
right?
And the boys gave me a tenner each. There was 5 of them. There was 6 altogether. So I bought the car. I managed to get it for £40 off Paddy Taggart.
Right.
A Reynolds 16, new column shift lad.
Yes.
So I knew they got 3 in the front and 3 in the back. You know, the big bench seat. And of course. It was the same thing. There was about 200 tins of beer in the boot. They'd
be good job at the corner in them yokes too, wouldn't it?
Oh, they leaned the way over. And it was a red one, so, you know, the boys were thinking, can we not spruce this car up before we hit the south, you know? And I said, lads, you know, it's a 40 quitter, like, do what you want. So they had yellow packing tape up the side of it, you know, like a Starsky and Hutch, you know.
Yes.
Looked really fabulous, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But we got the weekend out of it, Jim, and got home, and the night, Paddy Taggart rung me and he says, tell me this, have you still that car? He says, our fella's engine went. Paddy's a man, he's going to buy it up, and I'll give you 60 quid for it. So we made a tenner on it. You know what I mean?
You know, them things don't happen now, and probably rightly so. I think certainly whenever I started running after rallying, like we're talking about, the roads weren't as busy, you know, there wasn't much traffic on the roads, and certainly the cars weren't as fast, like, you know,
big time.
You know, you ran at 16, not running down, but our Datsun Sunny that we had, if you were doing 50 mile an hour down the road, she was screaming, like, she was on top of her head, like,
4-speed.
That was her singing as hard as she would go, like.
And 4 gears, friends, 4, not 6 like nowadays, huh?
The modern cars now, the young fellas driving, they can do 80 mile an hour, like, and they don't think you're doing it, you know, and they're certainly a different kettle of fish.
It's a complete, isn't it?
It's quite rightly so that doesn't happen anymore, I think, you know.
Yeah.
And I suppose a lot of us are very lucky to get away with it, and maybe some of us didn't, you know, but, you know, we're very lucky to get away with it.
We were lucky we went through that era.
I was lucky through that era, yes.
That's what I would call that, you know, we went through our era there, Jim.
That's right.
And as you say, like, modern day car, even the smallest, you know, the smallest little car you get, they're far more powerful than what we were used to back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and when 5-speed gearboxes come out, wow, you know, when the Toyotas and the Nissans came out, and they had all 5 speeds, and this was blowing our minds. It's got 5 gears, you know.
Yeah.
And then you think some of the cars nowadays are up to 7 gears.
That's right. And you know, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, and I suppose, you know, the DOE Road Safety, there's a great campaign out now which we work very closely with them on it, and that's keep the race in its place. And it's a very true statement.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Makes a lot of sense, and that's very close to our hearts in Formula Karting, and we would encourage all young people and everybody out there, all young people, young girls, everybody, to keep the race in its place. Keep your road car, your nice, lovely road car for the job, and you want a bit of racing, in you come.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And if you want to go that much further in motorsport, by all means, it's not that expensive to go and do. I've done it myself all my life as rallying. You know, it's not that expensive. You have to work hard at it, don't get me wrong. It's hard work, but.
And it helps to know a bit of mechanical knowledge, doesn't it?
It was useful, aye. That was a help, all right. Not that I know much about it either, but...
I bet you knew every nut and bolt back in the day, like, you know.
Back in the day I would, I suppose some of the more modern stuff now is trickier, like, which you know...
I see all that old computer, I don't want to know about that, you know. That's why I'm driving an old 92 GTA Golf, you know. Every now and again I just put a brand new battery in her, turn the key, and away you go, you know what I mean? Just put her off-road for the winter. Come the summer, take her out of the garage, you know.
That's the best.
And there's no sensors in it at all. That's great.
Aye, that's right.
You know, all these under-seat sensors for your seatbelt and this, that, and the other.
That's it, and lights coming on.
And you wave a stick at it, start, I'm warning you, and get in and then it'll start for you, you know.
And have to go to the garage and get the light out. It's great for the garage, mate, isn't it?
But it is not a joke. I don't like the modern day setup, you know what I mean? Electronic handbrakes.
They're different.
They're all designed to give trouble, I think.
That's right.
You know, and even my son, he's a big fan of it. He's been, every time he goes down to Formula Karting, he comes home with a medal of some description, you know.
Right, that's
and
great.
He just loves it. And he had an old Mark II Golf before he even got his licence.
Yes.
You know, he's only left school and he bought this Mark II Golf, and he was saying, no. But then, a long story short, I got stuck and I had to build the whole bloody thing up and got it. And it was just like a brand new car. So he's now living in England.
Right,
And he still has Mark II. He put it in the garage and he has now like Mark 5 or 6, whatever it is. And he's trying to get used to this one.
And you not pull the Mark II at yourself in no time then? You were a bit of a blast.
Oh, well, I may have mine here.
Oh, yeah, you're awesome.
He's over living in. He's got an old 1600 driver.
Right, yes.
And I put the Weber carb and all, the brand new.
That's the stuff.
Done the whole engine up and wee car singing lovely, you know.
So what else do you want?
So he's replaced his old driver with a modern day 1600 Golf.
Right, yes.
And he says, Dad, this is unbelievable. So it's what we were talking about, the power.
The power is,
like a 1600 back in 92 till the 1600 nowadays.
That's right, different altogether.
It's nearly like a 2 litre, 2.5 litre, what we were used to back in the day.
I see the World Rally cars now are down to 1600 now again, and you know, they're every bit as fast as last year's 2 litre car. Like, you know, it's amazing how technology goes and how it works.
It's amazing how they get so much power out of a small engine, Jim, isn't it?
Aye, it is.
You know, because we were always used to like the big engines back 3 litre V6 Fords, and you know, all them big ones. And And they were the ultimate. We were going wow back in the day. And now
4 mile to the gallon and all that stuff.
4 mile to the gallon. If you were lucky, probably.
If you were lucky.
People were saying convert them to gas.
That's right.
So you needed a gas tanker behind you, wouldn't you?
That's right. Aye.
But it's amazing. It's amazing the way motorsports went in such a short space of time, really.
And has got very commercialised now, I suppose too. Certainly the competitive end of it has got very commercialised. It's although I haven't said that, there'll always be a place for the clubman. Like, it'd be an awful day if there's never a place for the clubman, but there is always a place for the clubman, and that's.
Yeah.
I suppose that's where we all take at it, and that's where we all keep at it. It's only if there's no place for the clubman, it'd be an awful pity and shame. Like for everybody.
It would. Certainly.
When you get into the works drivers and stuff like that, it's just out of the.
And even the Formula One's changed, hasn't it?
That has changed too. I
couldn't believe it. And the amount of breakdowns this year.
Yeah, I haven't followed this year at all, unfortunately. I must get into it.
Such a change. It's unbelievable, the change. You're thinking to yourself, it's not the same. You can't even hear the scream out of them.
Yeah.
They're a smaller engine, and it's all changed.
And I think it's changed a wee bit because I think there's a lot of the characters away out of it. Like, you had Alan Prost, and you had Nigel Mansell, and Senna, and you them boys, and Eddie Irvine there, which and them was characters in motorsport, like. They were, and they got the good row going, and they got the good bit of argument going, and they got everything going.
They'd be all out fist getting shot there, wouldn't they?
You would see that all around the television a few years ago, wouldn't you? Like,
and then shoving the old push. It was great, like, it made it more exciting, I thought,
And then did Eddie go in and punch Schumacher one day, didn't he? Or Senna, was it? I'm not sure which of them he punched.
Senna.
I didn't punch
Senna. He ran in.
Them characters are all out of it now, like,
It's too clinical nowadays or something. To me, it's too computerised.
It's still good, don't get me wrong. It's not what it was, I think.
No, but as I say, I watched it there. I've been watching it at the start of the season, and I was going, I'm not too fond of this now. Because the big engines are done away with.
That's right.
There's no big scream. Where you used to see people standing, they got there. You don't see that. You know what I mean? It's.
Hope we're not making ourselves sound old, are we? Because we're
keeping
back to old times.
Tell you what, I've invited you to my 40th birthday, and I hope that's the likewise back.
I hope we're not just reminiscing about old times here.
No.
That's not so bad.
No, it's not that we're reminiscing about. We're just talking about the motorsport the way we used to like it.
The way we were. In case you want to talk about modern stuff that I wouldn't know anything about, you see. That's why I keep referring back to a few years ago.
I'd say you know plenty about the modern day stuff. Not at all. We'll go to Catherine. What about you? What about the changes? You must have seen changes. Well, you've been in Formula Karting from day one, and have you been on the admin side of it?
Yes, and admin and reception and whatever there is to be done, I'm there. Cleaning, whatever there is to be done.
I bet your face is more well known than yours then.
And the books.
And the books.
And the books. Very important.
It has to be done.
We call her the boss then. And every chance of the way.
Where's I'll put her over a Todd now.
I'm not.
Up here now.
No,
Catherine, just for you. Just,
if you need to know and ask the boss, or want to and ask the boss, and that right.
Yeah. You just lift the phone then and keep walking that way, Jim.
That's right.
But yes, there have been some changes now. Even our reception area, from we went in to small.
I remember the old reception area. I have to say.
That's right.
You've been looking. Do you go this way or do you go that way? Yeah. And now it's
very
but,
modern.
I mean, you had to do that bit of modernisation to change, and
Yeah, you had to go with the time again. You had to go with the times, like and like people doesn't have to come kart racing, like they don't have to come anywhere. They don't have to go anywhere. You have hotels out there and golf clubs and you name it, and they're all nice and clean and tidy when you go in. So the only way to do it was to
spruce her up with it.
You have to follow them and beat them, like and that and
fair play to you.
Get it better than you have to be better than all the rest, like to get the people through the door, like and that's what you have to do.
Well, that's a good one. You're there 23. I didn't think you were there 23 years.
Aye.
Your time flies, doesn't it?
Time goes on, doesn't it? Stops for nobody.
Yeah, it stops for nobody. But at least you can see the changes.
Okay.
You can see. Anybody that's even been driving, even if they never went out into your place, if they're driving past, I guarantee you they look in You know what I mean? And over the years, you can see the change. You know, and it's great. It's progress, I think.
We're in a good enough stand there too. Like, you know, you can see it from the dual carriageway, which is very good, I suppose.
And it's easy to get, easy access from you know, from the motorway and all that.
Park and everything at it. Like, it's not awkward to park or do anything. So
it works that way, you know.
Well, where's the furthest clients? You know, geographically speaking, where are the furthest clients from? Have you? You know,
Australians and is that what you like? Australians, Americans, Canadians.
The whole world really. Then they've been in.
That's it. All over.
Because you're the biggest one in this country, Jim, aren't you? Really? Well, the longest established.
Well, yes, we are.
And the biggest.
There's no doubt. Yes, and then we have two other circuits as well. Like we have one in Dublin and one in Limerick. So
is that right?
They were branches out. Yeah.
Good man. So you have to tiddle up and down then to Dublin and Limerick as well.
A wee bit now and again. It has to be done.
I suppose you don't mind the drive, do you?
I don't mind it. No, it's all right.
Here the roads are quite handy now.
Good roads now, like, you know, and I suppose when they're setting up down there, it was hard work, like, because you're through all the. Well, you're all right to Dublin, like, but you're through all the other wee towns and villages, and it was a long spin. But it's no bother now, like. You can do it in less than 3 hours now, and that's without breaking the speed limit. And that's.
Because my mother, she's a wee West Cork one, and used to have to take her to West Cork all the time, and it used to be 8 hours. You know, when you go through all the old roads.
That'd be a 3-day camel. That's right. A 3-day camel ride, that wouldn't it?
It was, and it would have been. It was well over 8 hours because I mean you had to stop for something to eat and toilet stop and you know all this. And a bottleneck down at Dunleer Road Village and that there. And remember down there all them roads.
Oh, no, it was hard work, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? But we thought it was great too. You know, we thought we were well up there. Like,
yeah.
You know, but now the country's well up here at the minute.
That's brilliant. Now the infrastructure's great.
You know, you know, and there's very little trouble and all. You know, it's what we want, isn't it?
Oh, that's what you need.
You know, more progress.
You need progress all the time.
Well, tell me this: do you drive the cart yourself? Ever have a go?
I do, but not that often. I'm too busy working, doing other things. So.
Does she not do the boots the odd time, go down there and just put the next here and there?
I'm not that brilliant now. I'm good, but I do the odd time, not an awful lot. So,
and really enjoy it.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm not that happy with them coming flying around behind me, but I could tiddle along after everybody else.
Oh, but, I'd say there'd be no holding back.
No holding back, Tony.
No holding back.
No, very good.
So so you're in Dublin and Limerick?
Yes.
And is it the same format as you have?
Same type of thing, yeah. Well, the Limerick's the very same as Newry there. There's 2 tracks in Limerick as opposed to 3 in Newry, but it's done very similar with the bridges, the tunnels and the ramps, and even right down to the reception when you go in, it's the same type of timber and the same paint on the walls, you know, same colour, everyone's matching. Dublin's an outdoor track. So it is just,
it's outdoor, is it?
Yeah.
Well, whereabouts in Dublin is that, Jim?
It's just beside the airport, just in the old Church City track and beside the airport in Dublin there, yeah. Just the old Santry, isn't it?
Santry, yeah.
What do you call the road there? I forget what you call the road there. You go down, you head to the airport and turn down to the left.
You go past the long
it's between the airport and the
M50, and then turn right.
The M50 motorway, you know, it's a clump of ground in there, and that's where it is.
Brilliant.
Aye.
Okay, that's a handy shot. So you could do that in 15 minutes, an hour.
Aye, 40, 50 minutes.
You could surely. So it's a lot handier for you instead of, as I say, go back through the old roads. You wouldn't fancy go back there with a big lorry load of stuff like that.
Torture that now.
That was a torture altogether.
Yeah,
but it just shows you the way, you know, as I said, everybody knows Formula Karting. No matter who I talk to, you know, if they say you're from Newry, if you go way up in the north, you see if do you know Formula Karting?
Right.
You know, that's how well established and well got.
Yeah.
You are as well, you know.
Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully we're doing something right.
Well, you're doing something right, I have to say. And who do you organise then the competitions and all, or?
No, customers would phone up to do a bit of advertising, but customers would phone up with repeat customers. Just thinking there with Marafelt High School come in, this their 5th year. They come every 2 years and they go on to spend the night in Dublin. I think they play basketball in Dublin, but they always stop off with us on their way. Yeah.
Big shout out to Marafelt there. Everybody up in the high school.
That's right.
And they do the carts with us in the morning, and then go on whatever they have to do in the afternoon and stay in Dublin and then head back. But they've been coming. It's every other year they come, but regular they come.
It's a big highlight for them then.
Other schools.
It's getting youngsters into motorsport then, isn't it?
That's it too.
It's an event for them or an outing for them that maybe they wouldn't
Big
normally
highlight for
get.
them.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a big part of our work now too, is youth groups and all that type of thing that comes to us, you know, and they get funding from all types of government agencies, you know, whether it be the probation board or the policing boards and all sorts of things. All these youth groups, you know, it takes people off the young boys, it gives them something to do, or young girls.
Maybe troubled youngsters and
all that type of thing, you know.
As rewards. They
keeps
get
them...
as
Then they've a
reward.
new focus in life, haven't they? You've just, you know, give them something and they're going, wow.
That's right. Well,
You know, instead of
that's right. I've seen something other than what
Treated badly, you know.
treated badly, or what they're used to, maybe don't get out of their own areas too often or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
The other schools are recently, Mount Norris Primary School and St Teresa's in Tullyharn. They completed a CRED programme. It's community relations and equality and diversity. And
that was a funding thing as well.
it was funded, and as a
terrific,
result
isn't
of
it?
that,
Two schools
the
integrated,
two
you know,
schools
and joined and
did
community
karting with us,
relations and stuff
cross
like
community
that.
thing.
Cross-community relations, Well, I tell you what, that is good, and then it gives all them youngsters a bit of hope, doesn't it?
That's right.
You know, instead of saying, you know, what colour or a different kind of thing, you know,
all sorts of things, and
you can see like we're all only human at the end of the day.
we're
you
only
know what I
human,
mean?
and I suppose we're all living beside our neighbours, and maybe for the years we didn't know our neighbours well enough. Like, isn't that right?
That's
you know, the way
right,
things
yeah.
is going, and it's
There's a
great
lot to
see
do
them
with the
young-
news, what was on that TV.
Aye,
That's what it is.
so
You're that
right,
out media half the time, you know.
that's right,
They should
that's
be
right.
promoting cross community
all
relations.
that stuff. Aye, well,
You
all
know,
right,
and just say like leave your religion and your politics out of it.
Yeah,
But how the
just-
devil are you?
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
We had a great crowd there a while ago too. The crowd of wee singers, you mean, from where were they from?
Oh yeah, from
I
Africa.
can't think of them from somewhere. Where were they? They were from.
Africa. They came from Africa.
They were wee homeless. What are they? Homeless people.
Orphans.
Orphans.
And they were,
aye,
they
aye.
were
bless
the
them.
African Children's Choir. Oh, they were absolutely lovely. And they stay local families. It was Kingsmill. It started off in Kingsmill School.
Stuff, yeah.
And our sister Frances took 3 wee boys, gorgeous wee boys.
Good girl, Francis.
And,
Well done.
Yeah. And Eric and
But they sung it all for us too. Like, you know, they're a choir or something. Aren't they?
They're a choir,
They're something. They're big.
Some
They're
man
massive.
went
I'd
over
want that,
and
there's
he-
something. There's
Beautiful,
something
I bet it was
got
beautiful,
them set.
harmonious.
Oh, it was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, yeah.
Isn't it great?
Very good.
And when they were watching, when everybody comes in, they have to watch a safety briefing. And, you know, we can see them, we have a camera that we can see them. And all their wee eyes were glued to the camera, you know, the safety briefing. Like, we can see other people in there. They're looking around them, they're talking, they're on their mobile phones.
We know it all.
These
right,
wee
that's right.
eyes never took their
They
never
were
took their
just
eyes off the
completely
safety briefing. Focused, yeah.
That's right.
And they just loved it. They'd never been on anything. What happens, I think, is they're taught in this school, and they get one trip in their lifetime, and they go and they sing in different parts. They were in America and they were in Ballycastle, and then they came to this area here. So they do some concerts, and then they go back and they're educated and put through university, and then they're on their own, and
Well, at least they've got a better start.
Yeah,
Well,
great start.
than other people from that area, you know.
Yeah.
And they've got a great start because they're in Formula Karting.
Yeah.
And tell me this, how did they get on when they were driving? I'm just that wee and a bit interested
Yeah, they
there.
were very, very good.
best.
Yeah.
Did they?
And at the start, they were maybe slow enough,
nervous,
but
were they,
then they
but
got
when
a
they
bit
were
more
going,
confidence, and
aye.
some of them were waving at the others standing by. And
But then, you know, if you come from, God knows where they've came from, and then they're in something you can drive, and they've never done it, it'd be a bit shocking for you. But
so
then, as you say,
well-mannered, they were absolutely
and
lovely.
they took it, but they watched and they took everything on board.
Yeah.
Not like our own, you know. Because I don't need to watch that.
That's right. That
These
happened
wee
from time
eyes
to
looking
time.
up all the time were gorgeous.
Yeah, it's not. But that's you get a good feeling back from that, don't you?
I do, surely. You meet some great people, like, you know, there's some great people.
And get a buzz out of it, you know. But it's all progress, and I think it's great. It's terrific what you've done, and you're still there. It shows you've done something right, Jim, and you know your business is still going 23 years later.
You know yourself, you have to keep trying, don't you?
You have to keep bothering, you have to keep bothering on.
As long as you get some sort of a living out of the whole thing, sure, that's all you want, isn't it? Like
roof over your head and a bait date,
and
as long as you're a bit warm at night.
And a wee bit of crack in between times.
A bit of crack in between, and it's great to see you on the Banter show. And you know, because I'm looking to get all the established businesses in, the likes of yourself and that. There, Jack Murphy, the Hill Street jeweller, in 40 years, he's in business at Hill Street.
Right,
so I want to get all the established people in. Even people out there, if you're watching the show, get in, come in, have the banter with me. It's all promote yourselves, promote us, give a bit of a smile, a bit of crack, isn't it?
And get a bit of crack going. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's what it's all about.
That's all you need.
So what's the big highlights of the year now coming up for you?
What's the big highlights, I suppose?
Put Catherine on the spot here, didn't it?
Well, after this, now there'll probably be. It'll start to get busy now, I suppose, from this week on. And after, obviously, the May Day bank holiday, the weekend. That's a great weekend for us. We'll probably have a lot of southern people down, which we do every year, which is great. And then the school trip starts now. So they do.
All right.
That starts from now till, I suppose, mid to end of June. School trips and days out and all that sort of stuff. So that keeps us busy to June. And then the summertime, it looks after itself. It's a very busy period.
Yeah.
With,
families
and just tourists and just people. The roads are busier and people's coming and going and you get all sorts of things. And then I suppose you go to September. That's a wee bit. That's just quiet for us. That's one of the quietest months of the year.
It's strange, that, isn't it? The schools are just back.
The schools are back
and the holidays are over.
Like myself, I do have to get my credit card tightened up after my summer spend and stuff like that. I think that's maybe what happens, you know. And
I hammered mine to the wall. It's actually 4 oboe nails and they're big oboes, you know what I mean? So I can't get it off.
And then after that, you start into Halloween break and stuff like that. And then the Christmas, you know, the trade starts for Christmas. There, the night outs and stuff like that, and that keeps us going. January is a busy month as well. With there's pubs, hotels, haulage companies, and things like that don't get out at Christmas because they're that busy right up to Christmas. So then that's their Christmas in January, and then you're back into that dreaded February again, which is another slow month, probably to do with Christmas just over and has to be paid for and all the rest. Same again. So then you're back again into March and Easter again.
I suppose St. Patrick's weekend you would get a good turn there.
It's just a big circle, isn't it?
Doesn't it? Keeps her going. But it has to keep going. It has to keep going.
It has to keep going.
So tell me this, Jim. What I've been asked. Well, we've been talking here, but from you started 23 years ago, it was easy to fill up a cart with petrol.
Yeah.
You must see. It must be harder for you economically.
Very, very tough at the minute. Absolutely not with petrol. The petrol, all right, it's dear, but that's not the problem. The big problem, and the problem is in the north of Ireland here. It's not in the south. The south of Ireland has it sorted. The big problem in the north of Ireland here is the rates and premises. No, it is.
I hope you're taking note. All government agencies take note. You're not the only businessman.
Right,
You're not the only businessman. There's a lot of businessmen, and they're saying, and there's even businessmen from the south who are trying to come into the north, and they are saying, there have been businessmen who have contacted me because they've actually contacted me for watching the show and saying, you know, about coming in for the Banter show. We're trying to come into the north, but we can't. The rates are. The rates are dearer than the rent.
The biggest single threat that Formula Karting has at the moment is the rates. So it is. Now, I don't know whether I'm allowed to say what we pay in rates a year or not, but it's...
Well, you can keep that to yourself, or you can say it. It's up to you.
People would drop if they heard what we had to pay a year in rates, like, so they would. And, all right, we work on a big building. We have maybe a fairly large premises, maybe one of the bigger premises, business premises in Uri. That's the unfortunate thing. We need that to race our karts. But speaking in business terms, our business is a fairly small business. You know, the turnover is not that massive. So it is. But yet, we need a big building to run our business. So, therefore, we have very big rates on a small turnover compared with other businesses. So it is.
So you're paying the rates according to the size of the building, then, right?
Yes, that's rates are based on the size of the building, not on the size of the business or the turnover in the business. And it was okay there for a lot of years when there was no recession and things like that. Our business got stung badly this last 5 or 6 years with the recession, and all our young people left the country, went to Canada, England, Australia. You know, there was just a rate out of, and that was our core trade. 18-year-old young girls, boys, 18-year-old to 25 to 30 is our core trade. But back to the rates. The biggest single threat that we have as a business is the rates, and whether that be Newry, Belfast and Yannon, the rate system is not right in this country.
And it needs to be ratified, doesn't it?
Yeah. And the other, I suppose, the second big threat we have, which I have to commend the Southern government for, they have it sussed out and they have sorted it, is the VAT rate. So it is. Now, we have to pay 20% VAT on every pound we took through the door. So we have
20%.
If our building was 6 miles down the road, across the border,
yeah,
we'd be paying 9%. VAT. So, there's 11%.
There's a large discrepancy
there. There's a large
there,
discrepancy there, 6 miles, 5 or 6 miles. And the Irish government got that right. They're promoting tourism and they want to bring money into the country and they promote their tourism. So they brought their VAT rate down for the tourist-related products. And I know for their hotels it's down to 9%. Their restaurants, their leisure and recreation facilities are all down to 9%. Where this, I don't want to call them silly or stupid or whatever you want to call them in this country.
Robbers, they call them.
Whatever. But it was 17.5%. They brought it down to 15% for 1 year, and then they bumped it up to 20. It's just totally.
Well,
it doesn't give.
We giveth and we taketh away, isn't it?
I can't speak for any other type of businesses, but I can only feel and think for all the restaurants, the bars, the hotels, the leisure facilities in this country are suffering, getting it very tight at the minute. Yeah, getting it tight.
And you see the shops around, there's a lot of shops closed down here and there.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, the council have painted everywhere. The place looks tidy.
Yeah.
Even though it's, there's a lot of derelict buildings. But I mean, I don't know, I don't know what you're doing. That's all I can hear. The rates in this, in the north of Ireland are, you're wrecking them. You're wrecking the whole system. You're defeating business before it even can try and get going.
That's right.
That's the only way I can say it,
There's always now saying less is more, isn't there? Take less and get more shutters up and get the town buzzing, and you would think. But don't get me wrong, councillors and everybody else are doing some great work. But their policies are wrong. Whether it's I don't know if the councillors make the policies, but the government policies are wrong in some aspects.
Yeah.
And again, I'm only talking for the tourism, leisure, recreation industry. I don't know what any other industry does or whether they're right or wrong for them, but I know their policies for tourism, recreation industries is totally wrong.
No, it's shocking.
Compared to our neighbours 5-6 miles down the road. They're totally different.
I mean,
how we're supposed to compete, I just don't know.
From 20 to 9.
From 20 to 9, and then our rates are,
that's shocking.
Our property in Limerick is exactly half the rates as our property in Newry.
I hope whoever's listening to this, I hope some government officials out there listen to this, because you're trying to create employment. In the north of Ireland, they're saying there's not a lot of employment. But drop your rates and then get open buildings for people to let them. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have great business ideas in their head.
Oh, probably.
And they're thinking, if I had only maybe a grand, I could take over that shop.
That's right. Well, if VAT rates or rates bills don't make it economically viable, so they can't open it then. That's totally wrong. You can't open it, basically. That's the bottom line. They're not going to open something. The people's not stupid. They can't open a business that's not going to be economically viable.
And at a time of a recession, you'd think they would drop the rates down to give the businessmen like yourself, give them a chance. He's a long-established man. Keep that business going.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It should be fair. It should. You know what I mean?
And what's happening there, you see, probably, and I know for a fact, I'm not talking personally here. I'm talking for a whole lot of businesses out there, are in rate arrears and everything else, and probably will get there eventually. But with these high rates and being in arrears, it's leaving them business in recession a lot longer than necessary. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Where a business should be coming out of recession along with the country coming out of recession. These arrears and rate bills and VAT rates and things are leaving them business in recession when they should be out of recession. So they are, and that's what's happening. I suppose that's the dark side or downside to all these places, isn't it? And things.
Well, that is the dark side. There shouldn't be a dark side. As I say, you have a great business. You cater for all. You're getting young people out of the house, away from computers. They're getting the excitement of a bit of motorsport. And a lot. You're maybe triggering off a couple of motorsport stars for the future.
Hopefully, aye.
And then the next thing you have to pay is 20%. It doesn't make sense.
Don't get me wrong, we're not giving out of having to pay taxes. We need to pay some, but if it was fair, it would be better.
If it was fair,
that's all. That's all we're giving out about. And
I don't know. We're going to have a protest march one of these days. I can tell you. Outside, up and down the Green Bank.
I do all right.
We could do that there, because I'm sure there's a lot of other business down that Green Bank are getting it tight too.
I would say so. Probably. Well, sir, look, as a whole, we're through one of the worst recessions, or in the middle of it, or through it, or whatever we're supposed to be through one of the worst recessions, or people say it's the worst recession in living memory. But you know what?
I feel sorry for the people that didn't get through it.
Yeah.
The hard players. People never got the chance and still had to pay their 20%.
That's right.
There's some good people out there. There are some really good business people out there, and they have shut. And you see it yourself. And it's sad to see when you see a shop closed down. You think that was a decent creator in there. You're thinking that's just not fair.
And tried hard and all the rest.
And tried hard. So it is hard. And it's the challenge for you, Jim. And it's as I say, even the fuel. You must. I know it hasn't really affected you, but I'd say you would know more about it. You would know the cost of things.
You know, the fuel bill's going up. But sorry, I've just brought you back to the biggest threat. Fuel is a threat also.
But the biggest threat is the rates.
Without a doubt. That's the single biggest threat to our business, and it's a very real threat. It's not just a talking threat here. It's a very, very, very real threat.
So it is. I know it's a real threat. As I said, there's a Dublin businessman got on to me recently, and he's to do with the biggest golf website in the world, from Dublin. And he said to me he was going to bring my operation into Newry.
Right.
He says I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. No.
He said he could rent this building. He says it was perfect and all. He would come down to look at it.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I'll take that. He says, yeah, but the man says, yeah, are you going to take it? Yeah. Well, I'll have to tell you, there's the thing, and there's how much the rates are.
Yeah.
And he says, I looked at the price of the building. He says, the rates were dearer than the building.
And then his VAT rate. Would have just killed it off altogether. Just killed the deal, and
he says, I looked at it, he says, I'm going to take this home and analyse it. And he says, when I got back to Dublin, I've analysed that.
Just stay in Dublin.
He says, I might as well stay here.
You couldn't blame him.
I couldn't blame him, but I don't know if anybody's out there that can sort this out. It's a mess, it's a muddle, the rates are too high, and you're not the first one. There have been businessmen in here and women, and they've been saying the same thing. The rates in Newry are killing us.
That's the way.
But it's what do you get for your rates?
And it's not in Newry, it's the whole of North of Ireland.
It's the whole,
yeah. And in fairness, it seems to be the policy over the whole of North of Ireland. It's just wrong.
They need to get that right to create employment. And open these shops that are closed.
You see, there's one thing that politicians need to realise here. They're talking. I think this. If they take a look at Ireland or the north of Ireland on a map, it's only a dot. There's not enough people in this country to talk about cities and big rates and everything else. What have we got? 1.5 million people.
I know that.
You have more in a housing estate in the outskirts of London or Liverpool than you have in this whole of the north of Ireland altogether. So they need to settle down a wee bit, just come down to size a wee bit and realise they're in a wee country and keep it wee. And we're not big enough yet to talk about.
As you say, there's not too many skyscrapers in Newry City.
No skyscraper in Newry City, no.
Not too many in Belfast either, or Derry, or any of the other cities about. And it's when you go to the likes of London and you're looking up, you're getting dizzy. They're that big,
And you're walking through people like flies. The people's there to do the business. The people's not in this country to do the business. We're not complaining about it. It's small, it's beautiful, but
it's gorgeous when the sun comes out. Now when they include you, even when it's grey out there, but when sunny day, we're not used to even the sun. When the sun comes out, everybody's squinting, or you have to put the shades on, simple as. I think you need to drop the rates.
Get them dusted down first before you go on.
Dusted. Cobwebs hanging off. But there's a good one for you. I think we should base the rates on the weather here.
That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
There's a good one. So we're going to have low rates. You're going to pay high rates for the first week in May when we get that bit of summer we get.
That's right.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
It would.
So let's try and change the rates according to the weather, and get all the business people to pay the rates according to the weather. I like that one, John.
That'll work now, all right.
And say we're going to have a big protest march in the Green Bank one of these days. All businesses are welcome, by the way.
If we're all you at the Prime Minister's seat or something, there, right, we could change the world, couldn't we? me.
If
I could be your assistant there and we could change the whole world.
We'll get the Prime Minister in here to the Banter show, we'll see can we change the world.
That's right.
You know, you can take a sit over there and, you know, you sit in one of your top carts facing him, you know.
That's right.
The crash handle on.
That's right.
Like the, what do you call it? Top gear.
Oh, the Stig.
The Stig.
Like the Stig.
The
That's
Stig,
right.
I forgot about him. But I have to say, Jim, you know, see, this is, I'm glad you come in. It's good to know the other side about Formula Karting, you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah,
There's people out there just, there's your man out of Formula Karting. Love content, that's all they know about. So here we have it real on the couch, you know.
Well, that's it. That's as real as we can get it, but hopefully we'll keep it.
But
Keep it for everybody,
it's
isn't it?
great to get an insight, you know what I mean, into the runnings of it. And 23 years, I can't believe it there, 23 years.
I can't believe it myself, to be honest with you. I don't know where the time's going or where is it going.
But you haven't changed it. You haven't changed a bit. That's a tenner, by the way.
That's what I'm saying, you're younger looking. Everybody's getting younger looking all the time. It's great, isn't it?
You've brought in...
Lost in weight too, did you see that? See that by?
You've lost weight. That's them rates. You've been taking the food out of this man's pocket, I'm telling you.
Oh, and there's competitions there for you too.
There's a competition in offers.
Whatever you wanted to run them or giveaways or whatever you want to do.
Right, that's great. We've got two. What have we got here,
What
Nigel?
have we got here, Catherine?
A Grand Prix and an arrive and drive session.
We have a voucher for a Grand Prix and a voucher for an arrive and drive.
Right, friends.
To give away or do a competition of your choice, whatever
two
you want to do.
Two good vouchers here. A Grand Prix. There's the Grand Prix one there. And the arrive and drive one. And it's very, very kindly donated by Jim here and Catherine. Because Catherine's the boss down there. There you go. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be giving these out next Friday.
Perfect.
It's a Friday giveaway. We'd love to give stuff away on a Friday. With a bit of news, I'm not going to give you the news, but every Friday we're going to get a special machine in here and I'll check it out. So we're going to, the likes of yourself, all good business people, and they're going to give us a few bits and pieces. If you can zoom in on that there, our studio manager. There you go. And this is the Formula Karting, friends. Down in the Green Bank. Long established business, local people. And I'm sure everybody's going, we know where that is.
Probably.
You don't have to show that.
You never know, there's always somebody that doesn't, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's it,
surely. You know, and it's good to get the word out there for the Formula.
That's a surprise.
That's brilliant. You know, so you must have moved in there then when you were 15.
I was
coming
12 or 13 or something.
Coming up his 40th birthday.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Good counting. That's
so,
right.
Am I invited to the 40th birthday?
Oh, without a doubt.
We can have a joint 40th, will we?
That's right.
Worked that one well, didn't it?
Joint 40, yeah.
Worked that one well. But I have to say at the minute, it's nearly that time. The studio manager's giving us. He gives me that wee sign there, you know.
Oh, right, yes.
You know, when you look over and you get that.
To
but I have to say, Jim, thanks very much. I really appreciate you coming in. And friends, the Friday giveaway, don't forget, we'll have an arrive and drive and a Grand Prix. And this is for Formula Karting. So check onto our show. You're going to have to like and share on Facebook and retweet on Twitter. And our backroom staff, they know who's doing what. They've got a computer working out who's doing what. And they're going to press the giveaway button. So I'll be announcing that next week.
Brilliant, Tony.
Thanks very much to yourself, Jim.
No, thank you, Tony, for having us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Catherine, a lady.
Thank you, Tony.
There you go, the boss of Formula Karting, live in the studio today, friends. And they've been very kind to give us away these fabulous prizes. And we're going to, even the pens, we're going to give away a pen or two. And we've got plenty of brochures. So, friends, the Friday giveaway starts next Friday. And as I say, thanks very much for these, Jim.
No problem at all, Tony.
It's very decent of you.
Very welcome.
And as I say, before these people leave the studio, whoever's in government, take the rates down, give these people a chance, give all the businesses a chance. You know,
that's it. Give a bit of a go at it. Huh?
Bit of a go at it. And you want to shout to anybody there? Anybody around the world into the camera? Now the whole world's watching.
The whole world's watching. We'll just say hello and good day to everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Matthew T. Metzler over in America. Matthew, good to see you, brother. He's one of the actors in Breaking Bad. Good man, Matthew. He's a gentleman. Big Phil Howard and all over in London. Phil, if you want me to take my Banter show over, set up something and we'll come over to the office boat on the Thames.
That's the stuff.
So we'll
no
live Banter show from the Thames, hopefully, get all our friends down.
That'll be good, all right.
So friends, for me, Catherine and Jim here, it's great to see you, but for this week, we're out of here. Riser.